It's time for the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles The Crystal Bears review for the Wii. Well, I'm finally playing a game where the title is longer than Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
It's time for the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 review for the Wii. That has got to be the longest title for a game I've ever played. Are there any other games that are longer?
Okay, let me start out by saying, dang, the first microphone I used for reviews was definitely not of good quality. Anyway, this is the first Final Fantasy game I have ever played, and that's mainly because, well, I really don't know which Final Fantasy game to start with. Now, I would really like to get into the Final Fantasy universe, but I want to start at the beginning of the story, and I really don't know which game starts the story. Is it the first one? It'd be great if you guys could tell me in the comments below. Anyway, let's get to the review. Oh wait, one more thing. Since this is the first Final Fantasy game I have ever played, I don't know what to expect on any principle or element about this franchise, so I'm not going to compare it to any Final Fantasy game. Okay, now to the review. The story is about Lael, a mercenary who is hired to escort a passenger airship, the Alexis. Suddenly, it is attacked and Lael tries to defend it from monsters and a mystery character. The mystery character steals the ship's crystals, which are the power supply, and so Lael and the crew make an emergency crash landing on the edge of a city. After a while, Lael meets up with Belle, and both get chased by the army because Belle took pictures illegally while on the Alexis, and because Lael is a crystal bearer. This is as far as I will go into the story. This is an action-adventure game. You play as Lael, and like I said, Lael is a crystal bearer. He has the ability to pick up and move virtually any object in a sort of telekinetic way. You'll use the power of your crystal to pick up the objects. Picking up and moving objects can be useful for combat, which actually is the only way to engage in combat, and you can also use your powers to pull you up ledges and high places, which can lead you on your main path or hard-to-reach treasures. Speaking of treasures, there are many treasure chests throughout the land which can hold either money or materials. Materials can range from many different things, like darts to tongues. Yeah, okay. Anyway, you can combine these materials at workshops to create accessories, which will boost your stats like attack, defense, focus, etc. Actually, even though these accessories are pretty helpful, I didn't really bother with them too much because most of the game was pretty easy. Now, some of the fights were pretty challenging, but nothing that was excruciating without accessories. There are many places where you'll fight multiple enemies in one place. If you can defeat all the enemies, you can close the miasma stream from which they come from. If you close it, you will be awarded with a bigger health bar, along with all the treasures the monsters drop. The graphics are great. Everything, for the most part, is very smooth and colorful, with the animations being very well done. The controls are very good, although I did find some bugs like slight unresponsiveness. You'll use the Wiimote nunchuck combo to move and interact with your surroundings. You'll also use the motion controls like flicking the Wiimote to use your crystal powers. These were kind of tricky, and it took some getting used to, but overall, they were good to work with. I have mixed reactions when it came to the camera. It was good in the way that it was easy to use with the D-pad and the Z button, but the auto camera was pretty buggy, which became really annoying really fast. The story is terrific. I really got into it. I don't have any complaints with it, or the script, or the voice acting. Along with the main quest, there are many side quests and little things to do outside of your main focus, which I really appreciated. The boss fights were fun, and they were pretty challenging, which I really liked. I hate it when the developers make the boss fights too easy, but that's not the case with this game. Now, I'm not complaining on this next part, but look at this. The people in this game are really sensitive to physical touch. Look at that. I'm barely touching them, and they're acting like I shoved them. I wonder how they would be in a mosh pit. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles The Crystal Bears is a very good game. Great graphics, very good controls for the most part, terrific story, voice acting and script, cool crystal powers, and just overall fun. The only downsides I found were that the camera could become pretty buggy at times, the controls, although very good, could also become a bit buggy as well, and probably my biggest beef with this game is that there is no on-screen map, which can be very frustrating when you're trying to figure out where to go. Now, there is a general map, but it's not really that useful. The only time you'll get a map is when you're fighting a group of enemies. And actually, it's not even a map, it's a radar. So yeah, the lack of an on-screen map was pretty frustrating. But overall, this was a very fun game to play, and I do recommend it. I was surprised by how much I did not want to put down the controls because of the amount of fun I was having. Now, I've read online that this Final Fantasy game doesn't fit as a true Final Fantasy game, but I don't know since this is the first Final Fantasy game I've ever played. And to those of you who are hardcore Final Fantasy fans and are cautious about this game, I say give it a shot. No sense in critiquing a game until you've tried it. This game gets a 4 out of 5 with the title of awesome.